This is Rich Nagel. I want to take a couple of minutes to review with you a consumer information statement. The consumer information statement is put out by the Real Estate Commission, and the Real Estate Commission requires that we review it with a prospective client before we list the property. The consumer information statement outlines our legal responsibilities, of which there are 6, and the nature of our relationships when dealing with the public. Our first responsibility is undivided loyalty to the client. Simply stated, that means your needs come first. They come before us and they come before other people in the marketplace. Our second responsibility is obedience to the client's direction. The important thing here is that we don't make decisions for you. In the course of our dealings, we'll have conversations on how to proceed with your property, and hopefully we'll agree 100% of the time, but often that's not the case. The important thing is to remember that you make the decisions, we carry out your decisions, as long as what you want us to do is within the bounds of the law. Our third responsibility is to take reasonable care to protect you from foreseeable harm. In the course of our dealings, questions may arise where we're not qualified to give the answers. Those generally fall into 3 broad categories: tax questions, legal questions, and sometimes questions about the mechanical or structural aspects of a home. If we find ourselves in that situation, it's our job to let you know you should seek qualified help, and if you need help getting in touch with such people, it's our job to help you do so. Our fourth responsibility is to maintain confidential information. Confidential information about you deals primarily with your money and your motivation. Why are you selling? What is your need to sell? And what are you willing to sell for other than the asking price is all confidential information that we don't give to other parties without your consent. Now, there is one category of information that is never confidential, and that deals with the condition of your home. If you had a problem with your home and you told us not to disclose it to potential buyers, not only could we not withhold that information, but we would be forced to disclose that information to them. Our fifth responsibility is to provide you with full disclosure. It's our job to make sure you have all the relevant information that's available to us so that you can make informed decisions. Our sixth and final responsibility is to be accountable. When your house is sold, paperwork will be signed and the buyer will be making deposits. It's our job to make sure that you have all the paperwork and to let you know that the deposits have been collected and where they've been deposited. Now that I've reviewed our legal responsibilities, we'll go on to Part B of our conversation. Once you've listed your property with us, we're literally going to promote it to the world, and we're going to use all the tools that any good real estate broker would use. That'll include for sale signs, utilizing the multiple listing system, as well as all the internet tools that are available to us. And when your property sells, the buyer will be dealing with a real estate broker of one of 2 types, either a real estate broker that is affiliated with RE/MAX Elite or a real estate broker that is not affiliated with RE/MAX Elite. Now let's take the latter example first. Let's say that when your house sells, the buyer will come to your home with an agent not affiliated with RE/MAX Elite. In that example, RE/MAX Elite will be a seller's agent with the 6 legal responsibilities I described to you, and the buyer's agent will have the same 6 legal responsibilities to the buyer. RE/MAX Elite will be representing one party to the transaction, that would be you, and the other agent and that agent's company would be representing the buyer, the other party to the transaction. Now let's say a prospective buyer contacts us directly, either myself or somebody else in my office. They go out, they take a look at your home, and they subsequently want to buy your home. If that were to be the case, then our office, RE/MAX Elite, would be operating as dual agents because we would be representing both you and the buyer on the same transaction. Now, we can be dual agents in the state of New Jersey, but we can't operate as dual agents unless we first explain how our legal responsibilities would be impacted. As dual agents, 1 and probably 2 of our legal responsibilities would be compromised. Because we would be representing both parties to the transaction, we cannot have undivided loyalty to both. In a dual agency situation, we're more of an intermediary between the clients as opposed to being an advocate for either of the clients. And because we're required to maintain confidential information, it could impact on our ability to provide full disclosure. Now, our other 4 legal responsibilities would not be impacted in any way, and we always have to operate within the bounds of the law and hopefully show good judgment along the way. As our clients, you do not have to consent to the possibility of dual agency. However, if you don't give us your consent, neither myself nor anybody in my office could show your property, and we would be completely dependent on the agents in the MLS. If you are comfortable with the possibility of dual agency, there is a form that we'll ask you to sign. It's called the Informed Consent for Dual Agency, and it says a number of different things. It says that we gave you a consumer information statement. It says that we reviewed our legal responsibilities with you and you understood what we said. We explained to you how our legal responsibilities would be compromised as dual agents. You understood that, and you're okay with the possibility. This concludes our review of the Consumer Information Statement. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and we look forward to working with you and getting your house sold as quickly as possible for the highest possible price.